just being sincerely trying to render the devotional service. So Krishna is seated. Why it's 2-3? I don't know why. Huh? It's not. It's not required so much. Just keep one. So Lord Krishna seated his friend Sudama upon the bed. Then the Lord, who purifies the whole world, personally offered him various tokens of respect and washed his feet. O king, after which he sprinkled the water on his own head. He anointed him with divinely fragrant sandalwood, aguru, and kumkuma paste, and happily worshipped him with aromatic incense and arrays of lamps. After finally offering him betel nut and the gift of a cow, he welcomed him with pleasing words. So you can see how Krishna is treating his devotee. He's worshipping Sudama, and washing his lotus feet, and offering all this paraphernalia, fragrant sandalwood, aguru, kumkum paste. So I mean, when I was reading this, how Krishna treats even Narada Muni or Sudama, so I was amazed that how he's Supreme Lord. Actually, as Supreme Lord, he takes that worship. I mean, he's like, everybody worships the Supreme Lord. So, like great rishis and sages, and in all the temples, the Lord is worshipped in such way. But the Lord takes delight in worshipping his devotees. You can see that. He becomes very happy to worship like that. So this is the heart of the Lord. So Lord simply identifies himself as servant of the devotees and wants to glorify and worship the devotees. So this is amazing. So, and also we were discussing that when Krishna was so engaged in worshipping the Sudama, then Rukmani, Mother Rukmani, she was also just wanting to like get the attention or maybe please the Supreme Lord, because Lord is very pleased to serve and worship his devotees. So here Rukmani also is trying to serve Sudama with the charmer, fanning with her charmer, and personally serving that poor Brahmana. So even though the Sudama was very poor, clothing was torn and dirty, very thin, but Rukmani was only interested to please the Lord, because Lord is pleased to serve his devotees. So this is amazing. So same way, like this verse is there, sadhu reva samantavya samyak vyasito, he said. So there sometimes I find difficulty, like if I see some devotees, say suppose something not good. So okay, how can a devotee be like this? I may feel little not good about him. We may keep some perception sometimes. So, but when I was hearing this, that how Krishna, actually sees him as sadhu. So because he is engaged, continuously in devotional service. So Krishna sees that person as a sadhu because he is properly situated. Even though there may be some kind of deviation momentarily here and there, but because he is taking shelter of the devotional service and taking shelter of the Lord, he is engaged in devotional service. So Krishna sees him as sadhu. So when Krishna sees him as sadhu, then why should we not see him as sadhu? So that point when I heard, then that was like kind of impact. I think, oh, Krishna sees him as a sadhu, then who am I not to see the sadhu? Because he's engaged in devotional service. What else you want? So that's very important. Same way, we may have some caste consciousness. We may think, oh, he's coming from this background, that background. But Krishna does not see. Krishna sees only the devotion. So subtly it may remain with us sometimes. We may be still thinking, but actually he's not that Brahman background like that. We may have this kind of idea. Caste consciousness may be there sometimes. But Krishna does not see. So why should I see like that? So same way, when serving devotees also, then Krishna is very happily delighted to serve the devotees. So we want to also please Krishna by serving devotees, by worshipping devotees, by appreciating devotees. So even though we may not sometimes able to appreciate fully, but we know that Krishna is appreciating. Krishna appreciates all the devotees. So let us also appreciate and serve the devotees. So this way we see that how the mother Rukmani also was very happy to serve the Brahmana like that. So the next verse, text 24. Anta prajano drishtva Krishne namala kirtana vismito bhudati pritya avadhutam sabhajitam. The people in the royal palace were astonished to see Krishna, the Lord of spotless glory, so lovingly honored this shabbily dressed Brahmana. So they were also very happy and astonished because he was a very poor Brahmana and they did not know about him. But Krishna is giving such treatment to him. So that was kind of astonishing, but they were very pleased. They were very happy that how he's being so nicely honored. Next, what pious acts this unkempt, impoverished Brahmana performed? All these residents of palace are saying. People regard him as lowly and contemptible. Yet the spiritual master of the three worlds, the abode of goddess Shri, is serving him reverently. Leaving the goddess of fortune sitting on her bed, the Lord has embraced this Brahmana as if he were an older brother. So actually, the people were very happily surprised how this impoverished Brahmana, what kind of pious activity he has done, that he is getting this kind of reception from the Lord. So they said that Lord will actually give this kind of embrace only to Mother Rukmani and Balramji. Here it is written that Parivakshato Agrajo Yatha. So the Balramji and Rukmani would receive generally this embrace. But here Sudama also is getting that embrace. So that was very astonishing to all these people, residents of the palace. So, they were very happy seeing this kind of mercy what Sudama is receiving as well. Very, very happy about it. So this is another nice principle in devotional service, that a devotees are non-envious. So when they see some devotee making nice progress and they're being more empowered, so a devotee becomes very happy. He becomes very, very pleased by seeing other Vaishnavas getting mercy of the Lord. Like that. So here all these residents were becoming very pleased. Though they were with Krishna day and night, they're like kind of associated. And there is somebody who has come, they did not know him. But because he is getting such wonderful mercy from the Supreme Lord, so they are very pleased. So this shows the non-envious nature of the devotees. The devotees are very pleased to see that other devotees are very getting mercy. Like you see that in the episode of when Rupa Goswami was getting such mercy. So everyone, Ramananda Rai and Sarup Damodar Goswami, they are very, very intimate associates. And they were glorifying Rupa Goswami with 10 marks. Like how Rupa Goswami has pleased you, O Lord, so much that he understands your heart, he understands your mind. So that is a heart of a devotee. So my spiritual master says that if we actually truly appreciate the devotee for his wonderful devotional service, so then whatever advancement the devotee is making, actually you also make that advancement. Just by appreciating his service, you also get that benefit. By rendering service, the devotee is getting some blessings of the Lord. So you also get that blessing if you truly appreciate that devotional act of that devotee, like that. Because that is also devotional service, to appreciate the wonderful, glorious devotional service of other devotees as well, like that. That shows the non-envious nature of devotees, like that. Prabhupada writes also in the 7th canto that a devotee should appreciate other service and the other devotees' qualities, and that way the Vaikuntha atmosphere is created, because then everybody is seeing that how other devotees are engaged so wonderfully in Krishna's service, and then we have the mood to assist all the devotees in their service to the Guru and spiritual and the Lord, like that. The next verse, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Api Brahman Gurukulad Bhavata Labda Dakshinat Samavrittena Dharmagya Bhayoda Sadrishina Va. So say the Supreme Lord said, my dear Brahmana, you know well the ways of dharma. After you offered the gift of remuneration to our Guru and returned home from his school, did you marry a compatible wife or not? Purport: among civilized human beings, the question of ashrama or spiritual order is significant. In other words, every human being must execute prescribed duties as a celibate student, a married man or woman, a retired person, or a renunciant. Since Lord Krishna could see that the Brahmana was poorly dressed, he inquired if his friend had been properly married and was executing the duties of household life. Since he was not dressed as a renunciant, he would be without a suitable ashram unless he were properly married. So here Lord is asking Sudama, because they were together as brahmacharis in Gurukula. So now after a long time Lord is meeting. So he is inquiring that did you get properly married and you are properly situated in Grihastha ashrama or not? Because he was not appearing to be in renounced order. By his dress he could understand. So that means he should have properly got settled in Grihastha ashrama, like that. So this ashrama is also very important, arrangement of the Lord, by which one can take shelter of the Supreme Lord peacefully, nicely, like that. So as we know that one gets trained as brahmachari. Everybody would get trained, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, all of them would get trained as brahmacharis in Gurukul. That was the Vedic culture. And in that training, they would learn wonderful principles of sense control, mind control, and living for the pleasure of the Lord, living for the pleasure of Guru. So they obediently serve the spiritual master, and that's how they get trained, as brahmacharis. And there are two kinds of brahmacharis. One is Upakurvan, and second is Nastika brahmachari. So Upakurvan brahmachari may marry after a suitable age, maybe at around 25. They may accept the Grihastha ashrama, and they will live with wife and eventually they have children, and they live a Grihastha ashrama like that. And Nastik Brahmachari, they may never get married. They always remain celibates, and they always live in the ashram of Guru and serve Guru that way. So these both ashramas are so important because that ashrama, the person remains protected. So he is taking ashray, the shelter of the Guru and shelter of the Lord in a particular setup like that. So that's why it is important for somebody to either be a brahmachari or a grihastha ashrama. In between is not a very healthy situation, ashram perspective. There may be some cases where somebody may be given good shelter and protection by the spiritual master. There may be some exceptional cases, but in general, it is very important that somebody is properly settled in either brahmachari ashrama or grihastha ashrama. Because in brahmachari ashrama, the disciple is the student is completely controlled by Guru, by the order of the Guru. So he has to obey the Guru, and he has to control his mind and senses, as per what brahmachari ashrama ordains. It's important, like in terms of all aspects of life. You cannot intimately associate with opposite sex, and many aspects he has to be careful about and live a life of complete obedience to spiritual master, like that. And grihastha ashrama also, the person is actually regulated, and he is also controlled by many responsibilities of family life. Grihastha ashrama also, there are so many responsibilities. So they have to perform those responsibilities. That's why they're also living a responsible life. So Vedic culture was a life of responsibility. You can see that whether he's a brahmachari or is a grihastha, he has to be responsible, because it is if he doesn't become responsible, then making progress even in the ocean line also becomes very difficult, because that responsibility will help him not to go astray. Otherwise, one can become astray, and it becomes very difficult to then make proper progress. So that's why this ashramas are so vital. And for grihastha ashrama, there are some things which are very, very important. Like one aspect is deity worship. So deity worship is very important because the grihasthas have to deal sometimes with with family members and and worldly people a lot. So when they come in touch with the deity and they serve the deities, so because imperceptibly sometimes attachment may go towards family members, relatives, friends. But when they actively serve the deities, then the attachment of the deities, the Lord, will be enhanced like that. So it's very important to be in touch with the deities regularly. So one of the very important principles of Prabhupada emphasizes and Shastra emphasizes also. The deity worship is a very important thing for grihasthas especially. They should have deities, or they should have the temple deities and serve the deities very nicely. Another aspect is told about the charity. Charity is also one of the very important principles, because Muktananda also says many times that once somebody starts earning money, so money becomes very, very dear to the person, because money brings lot of security, sense of shelter to all the family members and everyone. I mean, protecting them. When start thinking, I'm protecting them, I'm maintaining them, so I need money. So money becomes very much like intimate. I mean, very close to the grihastha. There's a tendency to become attached to it, basically, like that. So that principle of charity is so important, because the charity allows that grihastha to give that money for the service of the Lord, and that way his attachment to the money will not bind him. Means he will get freed from that kind of attachment, and rather he will become more and more attached to Krishna, because he is offering that attachment to Krishna. So that's what he said. Whatever you are attached, if you give it to Krishna, then our attachment gets purified, and you become attached to Krishna. So there is a tendency to become attached to money. So if you give money to Krishna, then we actually purify ourselves, and then that way our attachment will be towards Krishna more. So, many grihasthas, they actually they before only say, Prabhu, I have got some extra money, please take it, because they know it is dangerous. There is a tendency to become attached or use it in different ways like that. So it is important to follow this principle of charity. So Prabhupada emphasized 50% of one's earning should be given to Krishna. It's good that way. One remains free to get unnecessarily attached to money. But if, okay, of course, many senior devotees, they give concession that, okay, but at least some should give some portion of money for sure to Krishna's service. Important. It's an important aspect of Grihastha Ashrama, like that. So also another very important aspect of somebody who is a Grihastha, because here Sudama, he's asking whether he got married or not, is also that the Grihastha should be very eager to take saintly association. That is also very important. Like a Prabhu is there, now he's preparing for Vanaprastha. So he's with Jayadrat Sai Maharaj, he's traveling. So it is very good, because by having this association of this renounced order, those who are senior brahmacharis and sannyasis, so they are so grihasthas humbly feel, even though they may be very learned and all that, and they may be very advanced, but they humbly feel that way, that okay, they are the people who are always with Lord, always the scriptures, they are worshipping the Lord. So that way they are always eager to associate. We can see the example of Nand Maharaj. Nand Maharaj, even though he himself is father of Krishna, but he is very eager to take association of Garga Muni and many other saintly personalities, Narad Muni and all that, right? So even the Raja Rishis, also the kings, they'll be very eager to receive the saintly order and serve them and inquire from them, like that. So that is a culture. That's a Vedic culture, that the saintly personalities were always respected, honored, worshipped, and the kings, the Raja Rishis and even Grihasthas, they will be very eager to take their association, like that. And of course, the sannyasis and those are in non-order of life, they also have nothing to take from Grihasthas. They simply want to just glorify the Lord and help them to get more and more encouraged in Krishna consciousness by telling them the message of the Lord. That's the only business of sadhus also. Sadhus should not be interested in any other thing. So just interested in simply helping wherever they go, in helping them in Krishna consciousness by glorifying the Lord and speaking about Krishna, like that. So that's how Krishna was inquiring, are you properly situated or not, like that. So in Grihastha Ashrama, it is very important to keep Krishna in the center, because if Krishna is not in the center, then the attachment of husband and wife mutually may increase more, possible, when that becomes more and more sometimes. So it's very important to keep Krishna in the center. Then what happens, instead of being attached and attracted to each other, they'll be attracted to Krishna. So that way one can purify oneself. So that's why it is important for Grihasthas to regularly come to temple as well, because there is a tendency sometimes to remain busy in our life, because life will take so much. I mean, the nature of Grihastha Ashram is that so many responsibilities will come by default, like so many varieties of things one may have to do, starting from getting grocery and working in the company, and taking care of the kids and schools, and there is enormous, there is like countless, so much. So my father was saying recently that we are saying, he told me after, I mean, he never told like this before, but recently he spoke to me. He said that your life is quite free life. He said, sometimes I don't want to do something, but I'm forced to do. I'm forced to do. I'm like pulled. And it is so painful because you don't want it, but you have to, because that's how it is. So painful. So I was thinking, really, you never spoke to me like this before. After many years, you are telling like this. I did not say, but I was just thinking that yes, it is like that. It's very painful like that, because sometimes wife may have certain demands, children may have some things, and you may have some aspiration in your life to do something, maybe some spiritual life or something, but somehow that whole, it can become sometimes very difficult. One is forced. So that's why it is important for also that we regularly associate with devotees. Of course, there has to be balance as well. Like Grihasthas may have mainly three responsibilities. That is the spiritual responsibility, their chanting and the sadhana and all that, coming to temple and everything. And then they have to take care of their family responsibilities and also occupational duties, what they may have to do. So they have to balance all three, that is there. But at the same time, one has to be balancing as well. I mean, one should not be like neglecting any aspect, and especially one should not neglect the spiritual aspect also, because the tendency is that other things you may manage well. General tendency is to neglect spiritual life. No? Correct. No? Even if suppose out of three, like family responsibility and occupational responsibility and spiritual responsibilities. So in general, it is seen that it's easy to neglect spiritual responsibilities, you know, because other things, other people are there to catch us. Kids will catch you, or wife will catch you, or the boss will catch you, and things will not run much. But apparently, life can go on even without a spiritual connection. Also, not coming to temple, life may go on apparently. That's why serious grastas, they will be more careful that they are not getting carried away by this so many enormous responsibilities that their spiritual responsibilities are getting neglected. It's very, very important for them to be careful about. So that's why it is good to associate with saintly order and come to temple, take a go for yatra or something. It is very, very important. So one has to keep some very nice spiritual program. And those serious grastas actually can bring about a lot of wonderful communities as well. Like in our Pune also, we have some very serious grastas. Like we have Jaydev Prabhu Satyavati Mataji. Then we have the Janva Mata and Shveddeep Prabhu. There's so many, there is VIT director, Rasa Vigraha Prabhu, Achyut Keshav Prabhu, Vamsi Gopal Prabhu, and Radhika Mataji. So many. Actually, all these grastas house, the program started in the beginning in Pune. In fact, Radhanath Swami Maharaj also, he would do program in Jana Mataji's house, and Satyavati Mataji and Jaydev Prabhu's house. And even in Chowpatty also, all the senior grastas, Mahaprabhu, then Khar, that program would happen. And like that, so many, Dwarkadish Prabhu, many. So you can see all these grastas, those who became very serious, they became like very proper spiritual standard, in terms of their morning program and seriousness in Krishna consciousness. So, and they were like regularly doing programs. So you could see that such a wonderful committee got created. So it is very important, that that spiritual focus is there from beginning itself, because then many people, I mean, the community becomes a lot of vibrant, because that becomes a standard. Many people can become very serious, and you can see also in Pune how so many grastas then got inspired, just connecting to that family only. Some of the people have become brahmacharis also, but first got connected there only in their programs. Many like that. So I think Ananda Prabhu and all that, Bhakti Rasayana Maharaj, they first got connected through those programs as well. And then they eventually became, Bhakti Rasayana Maharaj, and so it is very, important, because the grastas, they can easily be relatable to many new people also. When they see a very serious grasta and nice programs are happening, and then they can very easily get inspired. And then people can be easily taken saintly association also. I mean, saintly order also they can relate to eventually, like that more. But grastas becoming very seriously practicing devotees is so vital for any community to grow. Also, it's very important. Of course, the renounced order also has their own role, but the community actually gets very nicely developed by very serious grastas as well. It's very, very important, vital. That. So he says, Prayo griheshu te chittam akama vihitam tatha naivati priyase vidvan dhaneshu viditam hime. Even though you are mostly involved in household affairs, your mind is not affected by material desires. Nor, O learned one, do you take much pleasure in the pursuit of material wealth. This I am well aware of. But Lord Krishna here reveals that, in fact, he was well aware of his friend's situation. Sudama was actually learned and spiritually advanced, and therefore he was not interested in ordinary sense gratification, as is the common man. So, we have seen before also the quality of Sudama, that how he was always satisfied, whatever was coming on his own accord, he was happy with that. And Virakta Indriyartheshu, he was detached from any kind of sense objects, sense gratification. So this was already, the qualities of Sudama was mentioned before. And Krishna is saying that, I already know that you are not interested in ordinary sense gratification as a common man, and you are very spiritually advanced and learned. So, so that means you are in your household affairs, you are not affected by this material desires and all. you're properly executing your household duties without getting affected with this kind of attachment to material desires, and not taking pleasure in the pursuit of material wealth, like that. So this is also a very important thing for Grasta to be always on guard, because see, there is some requirement of affection which Grastas may have to show, wife, children, relatives, friends, they're there, but we have to be careful also, it shouldn't become attached. So affection should not become like attachment. So for that, Krishna has to be in the center, like that. So when we keep Krishna as the priority, then our affection is only to encourage and enthuse each other to become more Krishna conscious. So that is fine, that's all right. But if Krishna is not the priority, if we have a morning program is not the priority, if chanting the holy name of the holy name is not priority, taking association of the devotee is not the priority, then it becomes problem. Then that affection may actually become more and more, it may lead to attachment as well, like that. And the way to keep ourselves free from getting affected by this material desires, and also not pursuing pleasure in this material wealth and all, is to be very Krishna conscious. Because if we keep our spiritual standard good, then it is possible. Otherwise, it's not possible, because as we know that all these attachments and all this material desires and everything, it all becomes very aggravated because of the lower modes, mode of ignorance and passion. And ignorance and passion is so much, prevailing everywhere. So if we are not carefully cultivating Krishna consciousness as a priority, so it's very likely one may get easily carried away by desire to get more and more wealth, and getting so many varieties of material desires, like that. So it can become unlimited expansion, and it may be very difficult to wind up, and to take one pasta. That's probably second one pasta. So he was saying that from beginning only he was trying to see that how he is winding up. It takes long time. Correct? What is your experience? It takes how much time? Good amount of planning and time to be gradually able to wind up. Correct? Not so easy. Yeah, even sometimes somebody had desire also, it's not easy. In Pune also they are preparing Vanpasta Sangha. I don't know whether you are aware. You are aware? There is a Vanpasta Sangha in Pune they are having. They have some good number, 30, 40 at least. So we are getting some Vanpastas here. They may come here. So now, so it's not so easy. Some of them they want to, but it's not easy to come out. Because still some responsibilities goes on. And some problem may come, the wife's health may go bad, some daughter situation may be something tricky. So there is always some kind of difficulties like this. It's not so easy like that. So it's very important that we have some plan. Some devotees say that before entering to Grihastha ashram, there should be some exit plan. So then they'll be able to come out also. So the point is that spiritual focus is required. You see, Shastras, they always alarm us. They always make us careful. So Grihastha ashram is a perfect order for somebody to make spiritual advancement, go back to Godhead. But there are also certain cautions given that how one should be careful about it. And Raghav also have his own cautionings and his own that one should not become independent at any moment of time. Should always remain independent on the Guru, and they should always follow the principles of their ashram very strictly. So those things are there for brahmacharis and sannyasis also. They have to control their mind and senses. It's all there. So everybody has to follow and be very much. They should be. They always remain cautioned against certain odds, certain difficulties which may come up like that. So one of the thing also for Raghav already said that they should be. They should also safeguard themselves from pride also. Because sometimes being in Raghav's order we may become proud because of people giving us respect and all. There's a possibility like that. So one should be safeguarding against that also. And be very eager to do menial services, be eager to serve the Guru, and always be under his direction. It's challenging because one may get his own following, one may get his own prestige sometimes. Society may give that. But one should always identify himself as a menial servant of Guru. And then it is possible for one to follow his responsibilities or ashram like that. That's why in Chapati also you find that many senior brahmacharis, Maharaj has trained them that how, even though they may be president or whatever, but they also come to temple and they also have cleaning service. They will be, some of them will be cooking, cleaning the toilets, cleaning temple. So they're engaging that kind of service. There is Shamanand Prabhu. So it is so simple. You will have dhoti kurta, and even many stitches are there in his kurta. So very simple. So simply identifying themselves as servants of Guru. That is very important. So he says, having renounced all material propensities which spring from the Lord's illusory energy, some people execute worldly duties with their minds undisturbed by mundane desires. They act as I do to instruct the general populace. So actually, the grihasthas, actually they have to be very Krishna conscious, and that way they can remain free from getting into attachment zone. But still, they may do their duties well to set the right example, to set the standard, and this is a very great service for grihasthas also. So we can see that that King Ambarish also, he was so absorbed in Lord's service. In fact, it is said that he would see the entire wealth and kingdom and everything as nothing but piece of stone. He says like, and he also is seeing all the opulences what he has is he says that it's like a dream, Sapnatulya, just like a dream you would see, because it is not having any tangible reality like that. You see, like today morning also we were discussing that tangible reality. So all this, but so all this opulences, of this world and all this very flimsy. It is there today, it will be gone tomorrow, like that. So Bhagavatam also says these are all not tangible realities. They are just there for some time only. So these great souls, they have full realization of it. That's why they never get affected. They never identify only with that. So there's no question of attachment. They may use that for Krishna service. That's how they may go on. But they never get attached because they know it's just means it is there for some time only. Radhesham was glorifying when Ambarish Prabhu, right now admitted here in the hospital. We are saying that was Ambarish was saying that I am surrounded with so much of wealth. He is a very Krishna conscious devotee. He stays in home in Dhoti Kurta only, put tilak and everything. Very nicely practices. So saying I am surrounded with so much of wealth, But he says I just see myself as just a tiny jiva put amidst all these opulences. And next moment I can be thrown out of this situation. And I'll be somewhere else. I'll carry forward myself, somewhere else I'll go. And this opulence will remain here only. So he has full understanding of it. So that's how he can remain so simple. And now, right now, we were saying, our Vajilas was saying that because they want to complete the project in 2 to 3 years, 2027. So Ambarish was saying, I will give $10 million more because let us complete the project fast. So you can see that that person will not have any attachment because they just see, okay, Krishna has put me, let me use it for Krishna's service like that. But that understanding comes when we can see all this whole opulences as insignificant stone, as Ambarish Maharaj is saying. In the sense because it's temporary. It's not going to be there all the time. It's only there for some time like that. And the best use of those opulences is to engage in Krishna service like that. And here he's also saying that they do their duties just to set the example. Krishna says the example of Janak Maharaj in Gita. The Janak Maharaj kind of people are self-realized. They're very great personality. But even then, they may execute certain duties just to give the right example for the general populace. Even Krishna himself does duties in terms of give yajna, dana, tapa, the charity and doing certain like offering obligations to the brahmanas and doing all certain duties of a grihastha. They do that. So grihasthas, they may also have to do those duties because that is how they can set the right example also for the society. At the same time, they should be careful not to get attached to any of any affairs of the grihastha ashrama also. That is also important. So I will pause here. You can give it to the audience. They want to share something. I'll just pause here. So if anybody has any reflection or any question, comment, we can pause here. Any comment or reflection?
Just maybe just a few comments on Grasta Ashram as you mentioned. So, number one, Guru Maharaj told us, children look at their parents. They don't ask for the question. They observe everything. So in the family situation, one should, as you said, Krishna in the center. So in my house, for years, we have a joint family, but we have Krishna in the center. Everyone worships Krishna. That's our service. The house doesn't belong to anyone. It belongs to Krishna. So we have to all have that conception that Krishna is the house is the temple. That is the main point. Then children of God, if they go out, then they also become devotees. They've seen these good. I, as a figure in a manner, have seen so many people come near the altar. And the parents say, bend down, do this, do that. Then force the child. And that is probably because they're not doing it at home. Otherwise, I would have picked up that I must go to the temple and bend down, So that comes by observation. Parents in the family atmosphere must follow some rules and regulations. And in London we have courses on creative worship forms. So maybe around the world we have the same system. One can learn what is to be done at home. Because not everyone can come to the temple in the morning and in the evening. So guidance has to be there by senior devotees. And Rasa Ashram devotees can learn and apply day-to-day life.
Yeah, thank you.
This direction, there's observance. Children are very observant, they're very careful. Whatever they see, they do. In the Western culture, the parents or one parent is smoking. When the child grows up, smoking is nothing wrong. Drinking, everything, nothing wrong. They observe and then when they grow up, they do it. Krishna consciousness movement is ISKCON is trying to have everyone come out of this ignorance and come into knowledge. Right?
Any other comments, questions?
Can you explain what the difference between fixed and attachment?
I think the battery is is working.
You are saying the attachment and the affection. What is the tolerability? Of course, you can understand that we are attached to it, or we are not attached to it. Just doing our duty. It's very tricky. There's a very fine boundary between the thing that's something to be done. So, what is the thing you can always analyze that? I'm just doing my duty, not taking that.
Yeah, one thing you can do is that kind of feeling is always good. Like even Nanda Maharaj also feels that we are simply busy with my household duties and we are forgetful of the Lord. In general, it is good to have that feeling, but it does not mean that you don't do your duties. You have to do that duties also, because you have to take care of your grahastha ashrama and whatever the duties may be there, occupational duties and family duties. You have to do that. But at the same time, you can feel humble about yourself that, okay, I'm simply engaged in this duty. I'm not directly there with the Lord. That grahastha can feel this way. At the same time, you can be in close touch with some senior devotees, your spiritual master, some senior Vaishnavas. If they're telling you to do, you should do this, you should do it. One should not then too much. I mean, you do it wholeheartedly. What I'm saying is, like, suppose you have to do your duty of PhD and all, do it wholeheartedly. You don't have to worry about, I'm attached, or I'm becoming attached or something. So, no, you don't have to worry too much. Because that's a instruction given to you, no, by your superiors also. So you have to do that justice, no? So they won't be unclear about what they are saying. But you can report about your spiritual part also, like what you are doing, your sadhana, how you are. So that report also you can keep submitting. So if they have something to say for your spiritual life also, then they will give you some input. You know? So that balance you have to seek out basically. But in general, to feel that, oh, I'm simply wasting my time, like a devotee feels wasting time for eating also. He says, I'm simply eating, I'm simply sleeping, what I'm doing. A sannyasi can feel, like Raghav was saying, what I am doing, I'm simply eating, because one person says, so much austerity is there. Read Bhagavatam, so much austerity. One has to go and deer skin, so many things are there. Root only has to eat and all that. But I'm eating nice food, prasadam, you are saying. What are you saying? Your prasadam is completely austere actually. But you are saying like that. And you are saying that what I am doing, I should do 10 times more than what I am doing. So much time is going. So that way is always good to know that. But does not mean that Raja will stop eating now. You take only root and or you have to do, no? That is fine, that's okay. But at the same time, we have to be guided. So that's very important. That you be in the guidance, keep giving the report to superiors. So then if something is going somewhere balance, then they can help us out. So then they will save us. They will save us that we don't get attached also. So if you are doing everything under guidance properly, then you'll be saved and you'll properly able to sail through amidst your duties and your spiritual duties also, and then you'll get purified and you'll progress in Krishna consciousness. Is that fine? Yeah. So you can submit the whole report also. Some devotee who is guiding you can submit the whole report. And you'll get joy also. Like suppose you read some book recently and you said, so I read this book, and share some points. So, and tell overall that you may not be able to attain all morning programs. You just tell something, I'm doing this. It's fine, you are able to manage this. And your PhD is also going good. You're happily situated. They're happy with that. So then we don't have to worry too much. So just keep doing that, what you're doing. And if additionally something they may have desire, okay, can you do this little bit if possible for you, that your other things will not be affected. And you can generally be eager to see some adjustment and all that. But at the same time, you should not compromise certain duties which they may want you to do it nicely. Correct. But as I said, that center should be Krishna. So Krishna centered means then you make that senior devotee as I am doing it for his pleasure. Raisham would tell us always that, and even other senior devotees that we should, when we are working also, we should know that I am working for Krishna, not for that boss, not for degree, for Guru and Krishna. So when money also comes, nice stipend comes, that money is not my money, it's Krishna's money. Like that. So even if you have to purchase something, like you have to purchase a bike or car, then you will consult the Guru also. For that thing also you can consult. So whether I really need or not. So we can consult. So, and when we are trying to please our boss or professor, then we can think by pleasing him, I am making my superior happy. Because my work is good, and by seeing, my superior also will see, I am doing good there, they also will be happy. So, that conception, as Puri said, it's like household should be seen as a Krishna's household. Same way your job and everything should be seen as, okay, this is all, I am doing service to Krishna only, my Guru only. So that conception should be there. It is not something independent of Guru's service. That conception you have to develop. And then our spiritual duties are also Guru's expectations. So we will be focused on that also. So then we will find the proper balance. So the conception before getting into anything is very important. As Prabhuji said, somebody is in Grihastha ashram, but this ashram is Krishna's household. With that conception you enter and then you do all the duties. So then you can be safeguarded from that attachment. Correct. And then you'll hear the Guru also. When Guru gives you timely, he will give you some guidance. Now you do this. Now you reduce the time for this and increase the time for that. Then you'll be able to take them separately because you are identifying not duty separately. My duty something separately. No, you are doing all Krishna's duty. It was Guru only. Then you will be developing that kind of mood that is all for service to Guru, and whatever service of Guru is required, I will do that. Tomorrow when they will say, okay, now you give more time, your PhD is over, now give more time for preaching. More time for preaching. Something like that. So you will not hold on to, no, I want now further this, I want. So, like that. So this carefully, if you, put like this, and everything you do for Guru and Krishna's pleasure, slowly you will get more this kind of attitude. And then to that degree, we will also be able to say no to our attachments. Which will be coming sometimes, but we'll be able to say, because Guru will say something, no, you do this. Then you have strength to say no or reduce that. It will be possible. Correct. Does it make sense? Okay, so let us stop here. Jantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna.
That's tomorrow. Or is it tomorrow? Okay.